What happened this week with the unemployment claims? That and more in your daily financial news. So what is Barry Sternlicht saying now that you and I should be paying attention to? Well, folks, he is out saying that the banking crisis is quite simply not over. Barry Sternlicht, if you don't know who he is, we call him Billionaire Barry. Billionaire Barry has been featured on this channel several times. First for losing his mortgage company, he went bankrupt. Then he stopped paying his REIT or the dividends, and then he sold his single family homes. This is a individual who likely got caught on the wrong side of rate increases. His debt was likely not fixed, and he was in a lot of pain. Barry Sternlicht is saying now, folks, we are going to have one bank failure a week. Now, if you remember our conversation from last week, we talked about the Fed identifying, I think it was 272 banks, most of them valued below 10 billion, that were at risk of being in trouble. This banking crisis is not over. And we have been talking about it for a while. It was going to be very slow and over a long duration. What is going on? What is it a problem? How can we possibly take advantage of it? So first and foremost, frankly, just like Silicon Valley Bank, what is happening inside some of our smaller institutions? Well, folks, they are over-rotated or over-indexed on certain types of loans. Think, for example, Office San Francisco. Now, that's just one example, but they can happen anywhere across the country. You could have a small bank that is over-indexed on a certain type of asset. Again, just as an example, San Francisco office. As the Real Deal has constantly pointed out, we are seeing offices in San Francisco trade below 50 and 60% of past purchase, meaning that these banks or lenders are going to take some significant haircuts. So if you have a loan book valued at $1 billion, and suddenly those assets are not, or those loans aren't worth $1 billion, they're worth 800 million, you start to get into trouble. On top of that, we have seen lenders really pull back on lending, right? Their loan originations are down. These banks are really hurting for cash. So this higher for longer will undoubtedly cause more pain in the banking industry. I think it is a little much to think that we will get one bank failure a week. But is it possible we have 20 bank failures in 2024? Yeah, likely all small, likely all commercial real estate oriented. But yes, that is possible. I believe we've had one go here recently, and I'm sure more will follow. It is just unfortunately where we are. But how do you take advantage? How do you take advantage of this? Well, we're going to have to talk to Jonathan Twombly today. That is going to be my question for him. But in short, you've got to network. You've got to meet with brokers. You've got to meet with lenders. You've got to meet with banks. You have to become one of their list of potential buyers. So we're going to talk more about that today with Jonathan Twombly, because I know you want to make a bunch of money with this, as do I. So we're going to get it straight from the source. What else is going on? How about the weekly jobless claims, folks? Weekly jobless claims, nothing to get too excited about just yet, but the trend is broken. I think you can say the trend is broken. We have been bouncing around 210, 212, 214 for quite a while. Folks, we just got a pop this morning to 231. Now, 231 is still way below the red flag, 300,000 number, maybe 3.25. But still, 231 is the highest weekly unemployment claims since August of 2023. Now, remember, it was just weeks ago we had multiple inflation readings that were hot. We'll get another one next week. Now we have had a couple of jobs numbers go the wrong way, right? I think it was the April jobs number were weak at 175. I think expectations were 230, something like that. Now we have the weekly unemployment claims, which is the best, folks. You and I need to be watching the weekly unemployment claims because that is the first indicator that a problem could be at hand. And again, because it comes weekly, we can really trend it, right? Right now we have a dot. We do not have a clear trend, but something you and I will be looking at next week for sure. I got this quote, which I think is accurate. Weekly claims are the timeliest indicator of an economy that could be cracking. That is exactly what I want you to think about. The weekly unemployment claims is that early signal that we may have a growing problem. Again, 231 above expectations, highest since August. Nothing to freak out about yet, but let's put it in the back of our mind for next week. How about the Powell pivot? The Powell pivot, folks, I think it happened. You have to pay attention to Powell when he speaks. He said the following. I'm going to call it the Powell pivot. You let me know what you think. Powell said, I'm going to read it. We are going to go back to making monetary policy on both inflation and employment. Folks, that's the pivot, in my opinion. Why is that the pivot? Well, he made inflation since Jackson Hole. When was Jackson Hole? Like 18 months ago when he came out and basically said, we're going higher, higher, higher. Now he is saying, folks, we're going to go back to our dual mandate of stable prices, aka inflation, and employment. Folks, inflation coming down, employment getting a little sketch. I think we had the Powell pivot and most people missed it. Let's talk about some earnings. We are getting more and more earnings. A lot of important retail next week. We did get a couple of retail names here today. We got Tapestry, which is I'll call a luxury retailer like Coach and things like that. They had a revenue miss and a weak forecast. Yes, folks, people are finally done shopping, at least for a little while. We'll see how long that lasts. How about Roblox? They missed and cut their forecast. Apparently, gamers are spending less in-game. Shocking. Planet Fitness had a revenue miss and a weak forecast. Yeah, Planet Fitness was in the news a couple weeks ago for doing stupid things. Yeah, not shocking they had a huge miss. How about Airbnb? We are going to be talking to an Airbnb host today. It's one of my interviews at 9 o'clock. I want to ask about the Airbnb bust. I want to talk about how to do Airbnb right. But Airbnb, had their best Q1 ever. 133 million nights booked. That's amazing. 133 million nights? That's wild. But they did issue some weak guidance. I'm assuming their stocks would be down today. And then Robinhood beat top line, beat bottom line, and had record Q1 earnings. I'm guessing that quarter of crypto really, really helped them out. All right, let's talk about retirees, right? I am really playing with an idea called the second season. What is the second season? You and I, or at least most of us, we go through season one working. And then at some point, maybe it's 45, maybe it's 65, you no longer work. Congratulations. When that happens, you have entered your second season. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know if it'll stick. I'm playing with it. But I just got a survey of retirees clearly in their second season. Only 4% of retirees are saying they are living their dream life. 4%. Folks, if you're Generation X, Baby Boomer, all of those, you have been sold a lie. Work 40 hours for 40 years to live on 40%. 4% of retirees are saying they are living their dream life. We also get a lot of reports on being retired. You need $1.5 million so that you can withdraw 4% or 60 grand a year. That's $5 grand a month. I'm curious, can anybody live on $5 grand a month? Leave comments below. Say yes or no. I want to see the comments. I want to know how many of my followers can live on $5,000 a month. I think I might spend $5,000 a month on food. Nah, $4,000. But that's crazy. So at the end of the day, folks, you know that real estate investing, owning assets, inflation is a feature, not a bug. You know that it's not net worth, it is cash flow that will make the party go, right? I really am annoyed at these things about $1.5 million. That's an accident. That's just, a number. We want cash flow. If you're following this channel, it's because you believe in real estate. The book, How to Get Started the book, One Rental at a Time, documents one person's story. The second book, 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires, is 15 unique stories. But at the end of the day, folks, I want to talk about what's coming. I think the real estate market is slowing down. You heard me talk about that yesterday. I want you to appreciate that now's the time to do the work. You can't get ready when the market changes. You got to get ready early. Get your buy box. Declare what it is. Track it. Learn it. Understand. The market is going to be relatively simple to understand. Clean, pretty properties below the median will still sell. But you and I are investors. You and I don't need perfect. You and I need a great yield, cash on cash, return on capital, whatever you want to call it. Folks, it is time to understand the math behind what your great deal is. Everybody's market is different. Everybody's buy box is different. But when the market slows down, which we want, you and I want the market to slow down, you and I are going to find motivated sellers. On top of that, as we will talk with Jonathan Twomley in, about 20 minutes, we're going to talk about how do we take advantage of the commercial crash that is coming. Yes, you play like you practice. Do the work now. Thank you, Building Wealth, or the Wealth Building Journey. Appreciate that. Absolutely right. Now's the time. Now's the time. Play full out. And the other thing, I just want to give a shout out to the amazing ORAC community. We do have a private Facebook group for the students. You guys are amazing. Keep just supporting each other, asking questions, networking. I do go to the Facebook group at least once a day, and it's just fun to see all of you there. So at the end of the day, folks, what did we learn? I believe Powell pivoted. I believe the weekly unemployment claims are something to watch. It popped. We've talked about billionaire Barry and the call for a banking crisis 2.0, one bank failure a week. At the end of the day, folks, this is the daily financial news. We do it 5 days a week live just for you. I hope you appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, become part of the family. And of course, have an amazing day. Later.